Now, what I'd like to do now is actually introduce our next speaker on stage. The Nielsen Company has been a great friend of TIBCO over many, many years. Has been a customer for about 15. We use many of our pieces of software. Mitchell Habib is the Chief Operating Officer of Nielsen, who's also been a longtime friend of TIBCO, who introduced TIBCO to GE back in the day. Now, this is a man who has, I kid you not, has unbridled enthusiasm and energy that puts certainly myself to shame. So please welcome Mitchell Habib, Chief Operating Officer, Nielsen.
Good morning. Now, there's a lot more of you than there are of me, and it's really hard up here, so we're going to try this again with a lot more volume. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you. Over the next 20-plus minutes, I'm going to share with you the story of how we reinvented Nielsen. The reinvention of Nielsen comes from a business that was used to providing data and reports to our customers in cycle times of 35 and 45 days. This transformation was enabled by our partnership with TIBCO, a partnership that didn't only bring us products, but it also brought us thought leadership. We believe both of those components are necessary to truly have a partnership. Let me quickly share with you some aspects of the Nielsen Company, so as I take you through some examples, it puts it in context. Next slide, please. So the Nielsen Company focuses on two different areas. One, what consumers watch and what consumers buy. Many of you in North America, if you're here from North America, know of the Nielsen TV ratings. That's about a third of our business. We are uniquely positioned as a company to help advertisers understand how what consumers watch influences what they buy. Now, we are the world's largest consumer information business. What does that mean? Well, first of all, we're in 103 countries. Our number 2 and number 3 competitors are in 17 countries combined. So in 86 countries around the world, we're a legal monopoly. We have information on 5 billion consumers. Our numbers 2 and 3 competitors know under 1 billion consumers. And we assist 25 million retailers in engaging those consumers and positioning their stores for success. And those numbers 2 and 3 competitors no less than 1 million. And so if you put it in scale, we're a pretty large business. We're a large business because we help that collection of clients down there compete and win in the marketplaces they serve. And that, in essence, is what TIBCO has done for us. Next slide, please. So as you think about it, just like many of you, I have a lot of different companies that come to sell me a lot of stuff. And they all want to be my partner. But the reality is, most of them are really interested in understanding what share of my wallet they can win. And that's how they determine success. If in their particular category they're getting 80% of my share of wallet, they think of me as a partner. I think of them as a vendor. For me, a vendor is someone who sells me things. But a partner is someone who measures their success by my success. Have they helped me identify opportunities and harvest them? Have they helped me identify risks to abate them? And I will tell you that's what TIBCO has done for us through our entire relationship together. It starts with having the right products that we need to be successful in the markets that we operate in today. But that by itself is not enough. It's about having an innovation pipeline that allows us to broaden the markets that we would otherwise enter. And then finally, as always, it comes down to people. People like Vivek, who we had the privilege to listen to this morning, Murat, who's managed our relationship, and of course, Matt Quinn. And I always think Matt's got the toughest job at TIBCO because he and his engineering team have to make all of this vision happen for all of us. So let's give Matt a round of applause because I personally appreciate Matt. Next slide, please. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you a series. Next slide, please. Thank you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to share a series of vignettes with you that bring to life this combination of TIBCO product and TIBCO thought leadership and how it allowed us to transform our business. Next slide, please. So I'm going to start at retail measurement. This is the core of our business. Our founder, Art Nielsen Sr., created a disruptive innovation called market share. Most of us take market share for granted today, but that was a Nielsen creation. And what it does is it gives us a performance metric to allow us to compare our company or our product or service with others in a specific geographic territory. But if you remember what I said, this was an industry, because we're the industry leader, that was used to getting data and reports 35 to 45 days after a period closed. Pretty tough to be actionable in that regard. It was more about a report card of what had happened. What needed to happen was a transformation. Now, 7 years ago, when Nielsen was acquired by private equity out of the public market, our CEO, Dave Calhoun, came in and built a team around him. And then we were asked to go find people to help us. And to take on that challenge, we came to TIBCO. And Vivek came to us not with a team of salespeople, but with a group of thought leaders and engineers who could help us design the future. Now, this was a pretty pressured time for us. One of our large clients, General Mills International, had decided to leave Nielsen and to go to our biggest competitor, IRI. They did that because they had launched what was supposed to be a disruptive innovation, something called liquid data. Liquid data was powered by BEA's middleware of the same name. Very scary for us because not only did this client leave, but Procter & Gamble and Kraft both put out RFPs at the same time. Now, I want to tell you that if Kraft, Procter, and General Mills had left Nielsen in those early years, I probably wouldn't be standing here, and Nielsen wouldn't be the success story that it's been. But the good news, and I'll tell you the end of the story before I tell you how it worked, is not only did we win at Kraft, not only did we win at Procter, but General Mills came back to Nielsen because the BEA product couldn't support the type of questions their customers needed to ask. But here's how it worked. So working with our associates, the TIBCO associates and some others, we designed a solution not to compete with liquid data, because when you try to compete with someone who puts an innovation in the marketplace, the one thing you can be sure of is they're not going to be there when you get there. They will have moved on. So we needed to come in and create a leapfrog capability. And working with TIBCO, we did that. We created Answers on Demand, the first fully disaggregated data set to allow our customers to recreate geographies and categories on the fly. Things that used to take weeks and months were now done in seconds and minutes. When we made this presentation to Kraft, they bought it on the concept. When we made the presentation to Procter & Gamble, they were not convinced that the Nielsen company that they knew would be capable of bringing this capability to life. And that's when partnership truly shows its face. So for those of you that understand the way an RFP works, you do your written presentation, and then you come in for an oral presentation. On our oral presentation, Vivek joined us during the day. And he didn't just commit that his products would help us be successful in the development and deployment of this tool, he committed his company. He said, TIBCO will take accountability to make sure that this is successful for you, Procter & Gamble. And I promise you, that made a difference. And so from us, part of the reason I'm on this stage today is because they at every turn have demonstrated that kind of partnership with us. I'd like to show you a video of what going from 35 to 45 days of data looks like to going to what actionable insights looks like. Let's run the video.
Hi, Anna.
Hi, Mark.
Listen, I'm concerned about the low sales. Can you find out what's causing that?
Looking at the map, and sales in the central region look low. The product performance looks positive. Online campaign ratings, buzz metrics. It's gotta be an in-store issue. Julia's our regional store rep. I'll give her a call and find out what's going on.
Anna, have a look at this. The shelf isn't set up according to the planogram. Well, this could hurt sales at all the stores that have the same layout.
Yeah, that's probably the issue. I'll share this with the other store reps in the region. Thank you so much, Julia.
We compared the planograms with the shelf setup, and the reason for the low sales was that the shelf setup was wrong. There weren't enough facings, so your product wasn't moving. Looks like sales are recovering quickly.
This is impressive. You've got a great team, thank you.
That was a good meeting.
Tom, I'm making these alerts scalable so we can be more proactive in situations like this. We have state-of-the-art monitoring, reporting, analysis, and collaboration with the new tools. Now I can anticipate patterns and do more predictive work.
Great. Proactive, predictive, better results.
The great part of this story for me is it's not a Nielsen story. Sure, this is a story that changed our business and frankly is changing our marketplace. But everyone in this audience has a story like this that they can tell. Because every one of the businesses represented in this room has a way to take yourself from being reactive to proactive. And that is really the central point and the central capability of partnering with TIPCO. Changing yourself from knowing why something happened to taking control and making something happen. Thank you. TV measurement. Again, this is what most people around the world know us for because it's where consumers see us. But as consumers, you know that digital content is being distributed in multiple different ways. You can see digital content over traditional TV. You can see it on a PC or a tablet or a mobile device. This is called fragmentation in our business. And the one thing I know for sure is it's not going to slow down, it's going to speed up. And that's because all of you will decide how you consume content, not Nielsen, not the content owners, and not the advertisers. Our job as a rating company, as a consumer information company, is to be able to identify where consumers are watching and who is watching this content and these ads. And it becomes more challenging in an environment that is this fragmented. So again, we utilize the same approach that we did in our retail measurement business. We had a product that was over 30 years old that was designed for the analog TV business. In North America, 3 stations. No time-shifted viewing. That is not the world we live in today in a digital environment. And so working with TIPCO's engineers and others to design a solution, we created what we call Media 3.0. One of its major components is the Media Content Hub. We call it MCH, powered by TIPCO. This is the first truly capability to become what's called meter agnostic. There is no other platform in the world that has this capability. And what that means to our clients is this. Regardless on the device that a consumer uses to consume content, Nielsen can meter it and can process and report it in the same environment because the Media Content Hub, powered by TIPCO, enables us to do that. Now what's really cool is we just finished a $1.3 billion acquisition of a company in the United States called Arbitron. They are to radio what Nielsen is to TV. And because of the way this product was designed, we'll be able to run Nielsen Audio, the replacement for Arbitron Radio, on the same platform, creating incredible synergies and incredible opportunities for our clients and the marketplaces we serve. Okay, let's go to the next one, please. Next slide. Thank you. So we have customers all around the world come and ask us questions. One of the most difficult questions they ask us is, how is my new product going to do in a particular market? Because NPI, new product introduction, is how they grow their business. And they want to know, what's the velocity I can expect from this new product? And that takes a lot of data. Billions and billions of rows of data from different sources. And historically, this was a very analytical process. And the cycle time did not delight our clients, nor did the cost. And again, working with TIPCO, we've released something called the BASES Workbench, which in real time can simulate this data and allow us to shorten the cycle time by as much as 50% and reduce the cost. When most of the development of new products is happening in the developing world, this is critically important to us. There are 2 macroeconomic trends that none of us will change. Population is exploding, it's exploding in the developing world, and it's urbanizing. And digital content is fragmenting. And this type of capability is essential to our customers and the customers they serve for us to be successful. I want to shift gears. Next slide. This is one of my favorite. I told you we're in 103 countries, and we have about 35,000 associates that are full-time employees of Nielsen in those 103 countries. And we needed a way to better communicate with those associates. And so we launched Tibber. If you haven't seen it, consider it the Facebook of the corporation. The delta is you get to set the privacy settings. We have 19,000 people that utilize this tool every day to communicate with each other. They do it in order to share information about their clients. They do it to do innovation in a faster way. What I will share with you later is a story of how a group of early career associates working in geographically disparate parts of the world leverage this tool to create our first B2C product. But that's going to have to wait. If you haven't seen Tibber, I really suggest that you, during these couple of days, you take the opportunity to do it. It's a great way for you to become an inclusive environment around your associates. Next. Okay. I get excited about certain things. And one of the things I'm really excited about is what we're calling the Nielsen Marketplace. This is our network effect for Nielsen. And it clearly is a place where TIPCO's innovation pipeline took us somewhere we would not have necessarily gone on our own. I want you to think about it. Nielsen is a treasure trove of data. We collect data around everything. For example, a bottle of water. If you think about this bottle of water, it has certain characteristics. It has a certain amount of ounces. It doesn't have a clear cap. It has a white cap. It normally would have a label. The label would have claims. We have the world's largest repository of characteristics on every product around the world. We collect products in every retail of those 25 million retail outlets in those 103 countries. If you visualize with me your grocery store and think about this bottle of water on the shelf of water in that store, just think about the number of characteristics there. Now explode it into your city, your state, the US, and around the world, and it gives you an idea of the type of data we sit on. We have television audience data, we have video data. And yet we were holding that data tight and keeping it close in, not sharing the raw data with anyone. In fact, there were people in Nielsen who were afraid if this data got out, perhaps our value proposition would be diminished. But Vivek personally got engaged in this one. And we talked about the network effect of releasing this data to other developers, people who could create value with that data in real time, bringing solutions to markets we may never see. And so the Nielsen Marketplace vision was born. And we're leveraging the cloud API system developed by TIPCO to make this a reality. Now, we think we're the launch client. I hope there's no one else in here that thinks they're the launch client. But we've been told we're the launch client. And we've got betas running right now. In fact, I want to show you one of them right now, that early career team that I was talking about. Can we change slides, please? This is Nielsen's first B2C app we've ever produced. So we're a B2B business. We're not a B2C business. This is called the Nielsen Top 10. And I have a request for everyone in this room. Before you go home at the end of the conference, I want every one of you to download it. It is a free app, and we will never charge for it. And it's powered by what you've seen here today. It takes that raw data, and it allows a consumer to see the consumption of other consumers in the United States today. We will globalize this eventually. I'm so proud of these early career associates who conceived the idea themselves working on Tibber. They designed it collectively, themselves, working on Tibber. They brought it to us and asked us to fund it, and we did. And over the last couple of weeks, they spent 10 days on a bus visiting 10 college campuses launching this product. They had over 50,000 downloads, and by the way, it was the #1 app in the App Store. It is still the #2 app in the entertainment section. So if you think about it, we're actually living the vision created by TIPCO, and it's changing not only our business, but our marketplace. Next slide. At the end of the day, it comes right back to where we started. You need a company that has the products that you need to compete and win. You need a company that has a vision that will help you be bigger than you would have otherwise been. And you need to work with people who you trust, who will demonstrate that they value your success more than the next sale. And I believe in TIPCO, that's what you have. Enjoy the rest of your conference. Thank you very much.